Two chemicals control whether your mind feels chaotic or calm, and that's glutamate and GABA. Glutamate speeds your brain up, and GABA slows your brain down. You rely on glutamate every time you need to think quickly, switch tasks, react fast, or chase stimulation. And you rely on GABA every time you need focus, patience, emotional steadiness, or silence. Modern life pushes one of these into overdrive. Glutamate. Caffeine, screens, alerts, noise, notifications. All of this gives basically GABA zero time to ever activate. There's always something going on. And herein is the reason of our overstimulated brains. Because our brains are truly overstimulated. Let's talk about it. Racing thoughts, difficulty focusing, irritability, mental static, restlessness during ordinary quiet moments. Do you have a need for noise at all times? To wake up, to fall asleep, to eat, to travel? I remember when I was young, I could watch 2-3 movies back to back. Can you sit through one film from start to finish without doing something else or pausing to completely forget about the movie entirely? Recently, my girlfriend left my text message on read for about 4 hours, and I freaked out. I remained in a, in a constant glutamate state, let's say, or I couldn't get my GABA to activate. I couldn't calm down. And this was a Monday, a busy Monday at work for her. However, our bodies feel safer reverting to this glutamate-rich environment than a GABA-rich environment. We have to literally teach ourselves meditation in order to restore that balance, because otherwise, our GABA just wouldn't activate. Anyways, let's explore how these two chemicals work, why your mental balance might feel off at times, and how to start rebuilding the ability to think more clearly, more sanely. Glutamate is the brain's main excitatory neurotransmitter. Excitatory neurotransmitter. It increases neural firing. Pow, 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 pow. Glutamate. It drives thinking, reacting, learning, decision-making, and stimulation. It evolved to keep humans alert and ready. GABA is the brain's main inhibitory neurotransmitter. Inhibitory neurotransmitter. It decreases neural firing. It drives calm, stillness, emotional steadiness, and focused attention. It evolved to help humans rest, recover, sleep, and reflect. Healthy brains shift back and forth throughout the day between glutamate and GABA. Glutamate handles activity, GABA handles recovery and clarity. When glutamate dominates all your moments, you're accelerating out of control. When GABA falls so far behind, your system loses the ability to slow down. Does any of this sound familiar? Do you feel depressed when you're bored? Are you terrified of having nothing to do, no notifications from anyone? It's almost an existential problem, isn't it? Do I exist if no one is trying to talk to me? High stimulation environments keep our brains in this acceleration mode. Constant screen exposure. Endless notifications. Aren't you popular? Caffeine first mornings or caffeine all day highs. Noisy environments. Multitasking. Fast-paced content. Each stimulus elevates more and more glutamate production. Over time, your baseline rises, and your brain will stay on, even while at rest. Low GABA creates a brain that stays activated even when you need calm. And we all need calm. Common signs include difficulty focusing on one task, irritability from small interruptions. Contradictory, right? Shallow breathing, restlessness during quiet moments, emotional sensitivity. Over here. Racing thoughts during bedtime. Over here. The need for constant background noise, even if that's just turning on a fan at night. These are physiological signs. The body tries to slow down, but the chemicals available for stillness aren't sufficient anymore. How do you fall asleep at night? Do you put on warm amber light, take a hot shower, get into bed, and read until you doze off? Or are you scrolling on your phone in full brightness, watching people do backflips and parachuting out of cannons? What about an Uber ride, where you literally have nothing to do but just sit and wait? The driver maybe has their radio on, perhaps they're on another call on their second cell phone. Meanwhile, you're scrolling while listening to a podcast in your earphones, thinking about how awful the traffic is and why can't this darn window open? We are in an overstimulation loop. Glutamate pushes the body into high activity. GABA normally counteracts that to recover a balance. But when GABA always stays low, the brain moves into a high activation cycle. It stays up here and never descends back to here. Stimulation, acceleration, restless energy, mental fatigue, and a craving for more and more and more stimulation. And the loop repeats because glutamate activates more glutamate when you keep going for more stimulation and higher pressure situations and never seek those calmer, quieter, more still activities that GABA requires to activate itself. The result is a brain that deep down still wants calm, and yet you feel uncomfortable with it. So let's begin to rebuild or reset GABA. Let's talk about some practices that increase inhibitory signaling and recover stillness. Number 1, find yourself some silence windows of time. Remove audio for short periods where you ordinarily would have had noise. Walking, cooking, even getting ready in the morning. Have silence be your friend and your guide. Quiet conditions activate GABA pathways and lower neural firing rates. Number 2, slow breathing, the deep breathing. You can feel the difference immediately. Long exhale breathing increases parasympathetic activity and strengthens GABA's calming effect. So, I've said it before, but I'll say it again. Try breathing in for 4 to 6 seconds and then breathing out for 8 or more seconds. Don't pass out. Number 3, single tasking. We've all heard of multitasking, but you should really try focusing on single tasking. Leaving aside just how much more productive it is, but how much better it is for your brain chemistry. When the brain receives one clear activity, GABA actually rises to provide stabilized attention. This directly improves your focus. Number 4, magnesium-rich foods. Not ultra-processed, obviously. Magnesium supports GABA receptors and improves your evening calm. Spinach, pumpkin seeds, almonds, salmon, fish, and bananas. And warm light in the evening. I've seen some contradictory evidence for both sides about what the real effects of blue light versus that orange, honey-colored light. But if you just think about it, which one's more calming? That neon blue that they use in Tokyo to stay awake 24 hours? Or a calm light like this one that already makes you want to sit down, relax, watch a film, read a book, get ready for bed. Number 6, physical movement. Yes, exercise is crucial for all aspects of our mental and physical health. Light exercise actually increases GABA production because there's a reverse correlation between GABA and stress. More GABA, more calm, therefore less stress. Movement helps the brain discard excess activation. Okay, so those are all ways to increase our GABA. But none of it will work unless you learn to decrease your glutamate. Let's talk about some practices to lower overstimulation and reduce neural acceleration. Number 1, start working away at removing background noise dependence. Give your senses time to be by themselves without this constant input all around us that we impose on ourselves. This will lower your brain's activation and honestly allow you to focus more. Number 2, and you've probably heard this one, is to delay caffeine. Try at least 30 minutes, 45 even better, maybe even 60. Caffeine first thing in the morning will spike that glutamate up, and then you kind of lost all that stillness that you could have used to start your day with a little more peace and quiet. Caffeine first thing just overwhelms your system and gets you going too quickly. It should be a slower start to your day. Number 3, reduce rapid information intake. Try reading one thing fully. Watch one video or consume one piece of content independently from all the other noise. Start to finish. Complete that task and see how much better you feel for having been patient. This invariably trains the brain to process deeply rather than shallowly. Shia LaBeouf. Number 4, transition rituals. Transition. After periods of high stimulation, which are still going to happen, that's fine, create a period of calm right after. Give yourself a brief pause. Turn down the bright lights or the brightness of your screen. Stretch slowly, deeply. Step outside. Take a walk. Take a breath. These are all signals to your brain to take a step back and find that glutamate GABA balance. A focused mind is a regulated mind. GABA provides that clarity, emotional steadiness, and patience. Glutamate provides energy, creativity, drive. All good things too, in moderation. Life will surely feel more manageable if you allow these to work as a cycle instead of competition with each other. So what can you do now? Find yourself one silence window every day. One deep, slow breathing cycle every day. Maybe at the same time, right? Complete one task that you would otherwise have used some sort of background noise or music. Remove that and complete the task in silence. Each morning, delay your caffeine. One transition ritual after a high stimulation activity. And adjust your lights at night. Create a process for getting ready for bed. That warm shower, brushing your teeth, in bed, phone off, flipped over on the counter. Bedside table. Counter. A clear mind comes from brain chemistry that is actively working towards finding more calm and clarity. Ask yourself, when does your brain feel the most scattered? And when does your brain feel the most grounded? Which daily practices stabilizes your mind fastest? Okay, builders, see you every Sunday. And remember, growth equals hearing yourself again, not amidst the noise, but within the silence. Brick by brick, we'll get there. Valeu!